Hi there, this is Jennifer at Brome Fields, and today I am going to be doing a video on how I knit in Continental style. I've had a lot of questions about it, just really kind of how do you knit, and what my style looks like. I have over 400 videos of me doing different knit stitches. So you can check out, like, my YouTube channel has a lot of my videos, and on my website in the video section I have like 21 days of cable knit stitches, beginner knit stitches, and lace knit stitches, and then I have 100 days of knit stitches. That was kind of my first one that got me started addicted to knit stitch series. So I have lots of examples showing you how I knit. So I thought I had just put together some basics that I do, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of, I do it, and that's just what I do. And I don't think that I really learned it from anywhere. I did learn how to knit watching different YouTube videos, and I am fascinated watching other people knit because it is so amazing the different variations of knitting there are. So I'll get started and show you. I have 3 different swatches I'm going to show you. So I'm going to start with the garter stitch, which is just a basic, and I'm doing knitting flat. Even though I'm using my circular needles, I knit flat on them. I don't use a lot of tension. So I just put it between those 2 fingers and I wrap it around my first finger, and that's it. I don't wrap it around my pinky. I've seen some people do that to give them more tension. I don't like a lot of tension. Now, it does depend on what yarn I'm using. If I am using a silky yarn and it's real slippery and I'm using my metal needles, then yeah, I will wrap it for extra tension. But for this bulky, super bulky, I'm using Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. It is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And I like to use my metal needles with it because it allows it to slip easier, not creating a lot of tension and friction on my hands, so that I can knit for a longer amount of time. So it's just not hard on my hands, just the yarn slides nicely. And I do use my middle finger. If you watch my middle finger, I use it. I don't create a lot of tension. It's just kind of there for a little bit of friction, and it helps. I help guide the yarn with it. So this is how I knit. And in the beginning, I watched several videos, and it took me a long time. Like, it was probably, let's say 4 or 5 scarves and a couple hats before I really found my style, that what felt comfortable to me, what I liked, the result of my tension, that it was consistent, that it wasn't creating too much tension, so it wasn't hard on my hands. And this is just what's comfortable for me. So you can kind of watch this yarn slide. It just slides. And I find that that's what works for me. So I like that. So I am going to do another swatch here. That was garter stitch. So I'm going to do stocking knit so you guys can see the knit stitches on the front and then the purl stitches on the back. So you can see me do a whole row of each. And get some slack here. There we go. So just between the 2 fingers, and I wrap it around my first finger. Oops. And I really just use my middle finger for guidance, not creating a lot of tension because I don't want to get a cramp. I feel like if I did squeeze, my hands would probably cramp up. So I don't feel like I use any pressure with my middle finger. All right, so now we're ready for all purl stitches. So we're going to bring this yarn in front, and so the other thing I will say is that when you're beginning to learn how to knit in Continental, or just learning to knit in general and finding your style, we'll just go with a master. So let's take like an artist. And to become a master, they say you need to have like 10,000 hours of painting or whatever your art is to become a master. And I believe that about knitting also. You really need, I don't even know that 10,000 stitches is enough. I mean, 10,000 hours and you're a master and you have figured out your technique and your style, and just give yourself some grace and patience in finding your style and what works for you. Because see here, now I'm using my middle finger. I didn't realize how much I use my middle finger and my pinky finger even whenever I'm scooching stuff along. But it's really that muscle memory. Once you figure out the muscle memory in these first two fingers, then you can start incorporating your other fingers, and it will all eventually click. But just give yourself some time and patience, because see here how it's stuck there, so I want to scooch them up, and I use my pinky finger for that. So it will all come together. If you do enjoy knitting, just give yourself time, and it will, just keep practicing, it'll all come together. It just does take time. So that was my garter stitch. So that was a bunch of knit stitches and then a bunch of purl stitches. So my next swatch is a rib stitch. So you can see back to back, a knit stitch and then a purl stitch. So you can see me going front and back. And I actually, of all the three swatches, this one I kind of just kept going. So I'm thinking that I really enjoy knitting using the this lovely squishy. I love rib stitch because it's squishy. Now I did just cast on 12 stitches for each of my swatches. If you want to knit a scarf or something using this stitch, I recommend an odd number of stitches so that your first stitch and your last stitch look the same. So here I have a knit stitch and my last stitch is a purl stitch. So if you put on an odd number of stitches, your first and last stitch will be a knit stitch, or at least the same depending on what side you're on. So knit and purl. So I'm bringing it back and front. And see, I use my pinky finger to bring that around. And I'm going to do a couple of rows here for you so you can see it going back and forth. And I have been knitting since 2011. I believe it was 2011. It might have been 2010 whenever I first started knitting, and 2011 whenever I started selling. I used to sell hand knitted stuff, but I enjoy teaching. And knit, purl. Oops, no slipping. So I don't know about you guys, but I really do enjoy watching other people knit. So I hope you guys enjoy this and you have found it to be helpful. And there's just really not a whole lot to my style, at least I don't feel like that it's really that complicated. But I've been doing it for so long and it comes naturally to me. So if you have any questions, definitely you can leave a comment below on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, or send me an email if you want to keep it personal, private. I'm good with that too. So I hope you guys found this to be helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.